Oh,
Welcome to the weekly wrap-up, brought to you by
another
Bing
weekly wrap up.
X.
Yeah, X YouTube, and of course, Getting Started in Crypto. If you are watching from Getting Started in Crypto, you can, and you've got any questions or coin requests, depending on what's happening with the alts, you can pop it in that little form on the page and talk alongside us. I'll be checking in at the comments, and Lisa will be doing her magic in front of you.
Everyone's probably like, why are you guys an hour early? It's like, so we're just trying out some different time
Tell me
zones
about it.
because I've had a few American people say that it's really late when it gets to 6 p.m. Australian time. So
No,
8
it's
a.m.
really early
is
for me.
okay.
I should be asleep.
Is that right?
So I'm not sure
No.
I'm not sure about this yet, but hey, up and early on a Monday morning can't be that bad. So shall we jump into
8
it?
a.m. That's late. You should be up with the 5 a.m. club, going
Don't
for a
try and
10K run.
I couldn't get to sleep. Like I've got my excuses. Leave me alone.
No worries. Yeah, so I will be doing this from the UK next week. Yeah,
Ooh, that's
not with my
exciting.
fancy background, annoying Josh.
Hmm.
Yeah, so let's jump straight into crypto and Bitcoin. So last week we had a look and we were looking to see whether this was an impulse, whether it was a deeper pattern. It's not looking terribly impulsive currently. So this is either our wave one or our A wave, and potentially C wave could be finished down here. It didn't break the pivot in. Oops, I don't know what happened there. Go back. No, it doesn't want to go back. Hang on 2 seconds. It didn't break the pivot here. So potentially that C wave is complete and we're breaking down. At the moment, it is sitting on a pivot. So if this is a wave one, and this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, this line here at, need some glasses to read those numbers. 57884 is the pivot. So that basically means that wave 1 and 4, according to Elliott Wave, can't cross over. So we know if that's an impulse, it's not going to cross over in that region. If it's not an impulse, it's going to go down further. So, if we have a complete ABC and this is still a deeper correction, there was a couple of potential patterns as we saw last week, with this 4 being lower or a double bottom. So I'm going to go up to the daily and just show you what I mean with that. So currently we've got a WXYXZ pattern. And that's looking like it's almost complete. Might just have this one wave to go. Now, if there's one wave to go here in this pattern, then this next wave can go 1 to 618 of the previous wave up here, previous W wave. So what that would look like. So this is our W wave here, and this is our next wave. The 618 is at 43. So I'm just going to put a green dash line there. Currently, it went to the 236. It can go to the 1.414, which is 46,951. So they're going to be the levels as it comes down. So that's if it's the WXYXZ pattern that we have been trading. So they're the levels there. So looking at that, that is WXYXZ pattern. So that would be complete. And literally it can double bottom or go to those 2 next fib levels. So with the lowest going down to 43. The other pattern is for this fourth wave is basically a deeper correction. So that would look like an ABC, and we would have 5 waves in this pattern. And that would be something like going to there, a B wave coming up, and then another wave going down. Oops, I've got the wrong Elliott wave. So yeah, so our 5 waves going to here, our B wave coming back up. I don't know what my Elliott waves are doing at the moment. Try again. Our A wave coming down here, B wave coming up, and a C wave coming right back down, which could end up at 33, which is a major support line and pivot. And that might be the reset. We haven't had a capitulation wave in this region yet before we kickstart. Often that does happen. I do think that there's just that one more wave down, and we'll hold around between 43 to 45. And that's pretty much what BTC is looking like. Not 100% sure if this corrective structure has completed yet. So because it is holding that lower pivot. So yeah, it's going to take a day or so. We're waiting on those select interest rates for the FOMC. They've got a meeting this week. So they are looking at interest rates all of this week. And I do think that we're going to get some sort of information come out from the FOMC that's going to move the market either way. Hopefully up. We like it when it goes up. It runs nicer when the market's green. USDT, as we were looking at last week, has had a pretty big pullback. It may just have one more wave up, similar to BTC having one more wave down. So they're an inverse chart. So obviously when USDT dominance goes up, BTC is going down. And the market is normally going down because people are going into USDT, and that increases the dominance. So we want to keep an eye on this one because I do think there's one more wave here and one more wave for BTC. And if we have a look at the longer term chart, when we got this pullback, it did come back to that median line. So that's a really strong support in that region. And that means that, you know, we don't have much to go in this pullback. It's almost done, and we will continue, hopefully. So we normally sort of break through around December out of these flags if we go right back throughout the course of BTC history. And yeah, so we should break through around December on this region. So, you know, whether we get one more wave up to retest that resistance and then a pullback and then a continuation, but it's going to be sort of a choppy market over the next few months. Not fun for when you're trading, but yeah, just be cautious. It's a perfect time to be building your long-term bags. Absolutely perfect time. So the other one that everyone always asks about, now these charts potentially have a truncated wave in that region. So what that means is basically there could be like a complete wave pattern. So going a 1, a 2, a 3, coming back down for our 4, and then up for a 5. So, you know, that could be in this region, or it's a truncated light wave, or potentially that's our ABC complete again. And our pivot for Ethereum is 2,469. Holding above that level is super bullish for Ethereum. Falling below that level, not so good. So it means it'll likely retest the low and possibly break down. On the 4-hour chart, we look like we're coming up for a bounce fairly soon. So if we drop that back, we can sort of assess where we are on these charts, and we've crossed. It's not looking terribly strong. As you can see, we've got just sideways momentum. But yeah, it is holding above that pivot. So as long as that pivot holds, this is still a bullish pattern. When we zoom out, like BTC, it has got a very similar sort of trajectory, with this possibly being a complete ABC and rejecting on the 9 EMA, which is not showing a huge amount of strength for Ethereum when we're rejecting that level. The MACD has crossed down. So that's, again, another sign that this may break down these pivots and these have an extra wave to go down. So if we're looking at levels for Ethereum, we've come back down to the 618. The next wave down is the 1,971. Ideally, we want to be holding above those levels because that breaks into our wave 1 territory, and that would mean that this is a deeper correction. So currently that wave hit the top of the wave 1 and has continued to bounce. So we want a double bottom in this region for Ethereum, or else Ethereum is going much lower because that's not a complete pattern. That's a corrective pattern. So potentially there could be another wave lower, and like with this being a B and a C instead of a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. So if Ethereum holds that low, which was about 2,100, we should see 5,000 in the not so distant future for Ethereum. But if it breaks down, we're probably going to see much lower. And that's not ideal, especially across the market. So Solana, again, similar to what's happening with BTC. Everything's kind of in very similar patterns at the moment. Could have a truncated first wave, and this is like a full correction. So if we do have a truncated first wave and we're going full correction, pattern memory says Solana likes a 786. And that's 121. Recently, it has been going to the golden zone, which is the 618 to the 0.65, which is 130 to 129. So it will get a bounce if it does fall below that region. And if this is a complete corrective pattern, it will break down and retest the low. So Solana has quite a low pattern. When we look and we zoom out, like I'm going to go to a daily chart. Ooh, hang on, let me just take some of this stuff off. So we can see that Solana's in a fourth wave, or potentially a completed wave. So because we do have 5 waves here. So looking at this, it's come down to the 0.5. So if this is a fourth wave for Solana, that is done. Usually a fourth wave comes back to the medium fib, which is the 0.5, and that was 112. So that may be the cheapest Solana you're going to get this bull run, unless that current fib breaks down and we get a breakdown of that low. It doesn't look likely for Solana. There's so much stuff happening. But, you know, if BTC and Ethereum start, people will chuck out their SOL as well just to cover their margin trades. So just be aware of that. But at the moment, it's looking quite solid. And there's, you know, a fair bit of volume coming in to Solana. It's had some really strong movement and, you know, lots building. So, yeah, there we go.
A lot going on. We do have one request from Sadie to look at AVAX. I don't know. I imagine ALTS are looking quite similar across the board.
Yeah.
But let's jump into AVAX anyway and take a quick look there.
Cool. So this is AVAX. You know, and it did go. This is a chart that I think I did a couple of weeks ago. And it has gone into that sort of circle region. Now for AVAX, it's mid-fib level. So that means that there's a missing wave. So it literally needs to complete this fourth wave here. That on a daily looks really incomplete. Stranger things have happened and it's gone straight down. But the pivot on AVAX is up at 26.4. So that's a bullish pivot. We pass that region. This is a bullish pattern. We pull back from that region. We're going down and we will retest the next fib, which is 16.7. So, you know, that's kind of what that's looking like. So if we have a look at this last wave, unless we've got like a super truncated wave, which, you know, they're because we had such a big drop and then such a bounce, they're kind of a bit choppy. But that predominantly is what it's looking like. That means BTC, Ethereum retest the low as well. And then ALTS will have one more pullback, and then we should be off and running for the bull run.
Okay, cool. So what's your general, if you kind of step back and have a look at the market, where are your feelings at? What's your general overview?
It is just looking the same as it does every cycle. So, you know, there's lots of FUD around, which is what happens at this point. There's a lot of confusion happening because, you know, some people are super bullish, some are super bearish. You know, you got to look deeper where a lot of the big funds are still buying. So, you know, there's still that accumulation of, you know, BTC, Ethereum, Solana. Brazil are starting a Solana ETF, and I'm sure, you know, other countries will follow on that. You know, if there's wars, obviously, you know, cryptocurrency is easier to transfer and to use cross-border. The other thing is also there's a lot of talk with cross-border sort of transactions with, you know, sort of, you know, Taiwan and those sort of countries, Japan, looking at cryptocurrency, whether it's one that they create or whether it's, you know, Bitcoin or something like that. That solves a lot of the sort of holdups that fiat currency and, you know, transferring sort of from one currency to the next and having that, you know, loss in there. So, yeah, so it's interesting time that we're seeing in the market, but I don't think it's any different to what we've seen in previous cycles.
That's reassuring, and I guess even if no one's shouting about it and the media have gone quiet, it doesn't mean there's nothing happening behind the scenes. And the big funds do what they like, regardless of what the media is saying anyway. So,
well, the media are not going to come in until the market is like absolutely smashing through those highs. So when there's money pouring into the markets, that's when the media start reporting on it. So when we sort of get that media hype, we know that we're getting close to the top because the retail buyers are the last to come in. So unfortunately, that's how it works. And then the whales smash it down. But, you know, looking at the market as a whole, we should be, you know, the total crypto market cap sits at about 3 trillion. We should like be heading to about 10 trillion, I think, this run. And I think that's the, you know, the start of where cryptocurrency will really start to dominate and grow as a whole, which is an exciting moment. We've been waiting this for more than 10 years.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. I think that's everyone happy. Anything else from you, Lisa, before we sign off for the week?
No, just grab me on X if you've got questions, or in the group as well. I'm always jumping in and out, or GSIC is in there as well, and he can answer the questions that when I'm sleeping.
Absolutely.
So we're 24 hours.
Absolutely. Thanks everyone for joining us once again. Have a great week ahead, and we will catch you all soon.